Hello. Tonight our video is on finding percents using proportions. Notice that proportions are two fractions that are equal to one another. And since there's an equal sign, proportions are a form of an equation. Please copy this down into your notes. This is the proportion that we're going to use to solve these percent problems. Pause your video, copy it down, and then go on to the next slide. Here's our first example using this proportion. What number is 40% of 90? First of all, notice that we know what the percent is. The percent is 40%. By definition, a percent is a number over 100. So using my proportion, the 40 would go in place of the percent over the number 100. Then I notice that there's this word of. Whatever follows of is going to be the whole amount of our proportion. So 90 will go in the denominator on the right side. Therefore, the number that we're trying to find is the number over 90. Alright, so from here we can use our proportion solving skills. You could cross multiply and divide, or you could use the giant 1, which is what I like to do. Now in order to use the giant 1, 100 doesn't go into 90, so first of all I just reduce this. Reduce 40 over 100 to 4 over 10. Then I can use the giant 1, and because 10 times 9 would be 90, so 4 times 9 would give me x. So 36 is the number that is 40% of 90. Alright, here's our next example. In this one, we're asked what percent. So we're looking for the percent. That's the number we're solving for. So setting up my proportion, the number I'm trying to find is going to go over 100 because I'm looking for the percent. Alright, the keyword of, whatever follows that is the whole amount. So 300 is my whole amount. That goes in the denominator on the right side. Is 120, so that is going to be the part that goes up here. Alright, so now that I have it set up, I use my proportion solving skills. And you know me, I like to use the giant 1, and the giant 1 will work. 100 times 3 would give me 300. So I ask myself, what number times 3 would equal 120? So of course that number would be 40. Therefore, what percent of 300 is 120? The answer is 40%. And you can actually reduce 120 over 300. If you divide it out of 3, out of 120 and out of 300, you would get 40 over 100. That would also give you the percent. Alright, here we go. Next example. 64 is 80% of what number? Alright, notice that I know the percent. The percent is 80%. So 80 goes over 100. The keyword of, what follows it is an unknown number. Therefore, the variable goes where the whole amount is. Therefore, the 64 must go here. Alright, so now that it's set up, I can solve using my proportion skills. Go ahead and pause your video, restart it to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. I am going to reduce 80 over 100 to 8 over 10. Then I'll use the giant 1 method and go 8 times 8 equals 64. 10 times 8 equals 80. So 64 is going to be 80% of the number 80. What do you know? Alright, here's our next example. Pause your video, set up the proportion, and solve it, then restart to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. In my question, I noticed that the percent is 12%. Therefore, 12 will go over 100. keyword is of, and 50 comes after that, so that is going to be the whole amount. Therefore, x is going to go over 50. I'm going to solve using the giant 1 method. 50 times 2 would equal 100. So what number times 2 would equal 12? The answer is 6. So how'd you do? Let's try another one. All right, pause your video, set up the proportion, solve it, then restart the video to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. The first thing I notice is that the percent is 20%. So I'll write 20 over 100. Keyword of, what follows that is some unknown number. So x will go where the whole amount is. 40 will go over x. And by now you know me, I like that giant 1 method. 20 times 2 is 40. Therefore, 100 times 2 equals x, which is 200. All right, so how'd you do? Let's try one more. Set up the proportion, solve it, then restart the video to check your answer. Welcome back from pausing the video. First thing I notice is that 5% is my percent, so 5 goes over 100. My keyword is of. 400 follows that. So that goes where the whole amount is. So x goes over 400. And I like to use the giant 1. 5 times 4 is going to give me the answer of x, which is 20. So what number is 5% of 400? The answer is 20. How'd you do? All right, that's all for tonight. Remember to read some books.